Here we are. So welcome to week 4 of the presence process. So we are moving into this week just deeper into the body, deeper into feeling. So this week is I feel unconditionally. And really we're just given more permission. It's quite a short chapter this week. It's just 15 minutes on the Audible, and it's really just deep permission to enter the body and feel what's there. It will be old, and if it's uncomfortable, it will be something from the past. It will be something from our younger years. If it's physically uncomfortable, if it's mentally uncomfortable, emotionally uncomfortable, if we're dealing with something that's hard, it's something old, it's not new. And it will be something that causes us pain or discomfort. And when we feel it, our automatic reaction will be to resist it. We won't like it, and we'll most likely want to judge it. And we'll think that that something has gone wrong, that we shouldn't be feeling this way. It should be another way. So we feel the uncomfortable feeling, and our most likely response if we're moving into our usual habitual patterns is to try and either make mental stories about it and try and control it, try and make sense of it, try and stop it by some form of sedation, numb, or control. It's the sort of the 3 ways we just try and run away from our experience. And one way is to run to another, and this is to say, and to offload, to maybe move into blaming of a messenger, to maybe move into some type of way of not being with the experience. And all of those methods can postpone the pain for a certain amount of time, and it might alleviate it for the moment, but it's going to keep coming. So Michael Brown speaks about feeling the pain, feeling the discomfort, and having a new perception of it. And I really find this helpful, is just to realize that he uses words like it's valid, it's purposeful, it's valuable. And I just think that's incredibly supportive to start to find the discomfort within ourselves, and just to, rather than go, oh God, that's horrible, and to move into something, is to go, this is here and it's valuable. And just changing that, reframing that, can really start to do good in your life. If I'm doing something and I feel a surge of charge, my natural response now, after many, many times of presence, is, this is here because it's valid and it's useful for some reason. And it might be that for some reason that charge moving through your body is the exact thing that group needs, that you're about to enter, or that person that you're about to be with. We don't really understand what presence is doing, to the mysterious, of mystery of life, but just trusting the surge that moves through our body is valuable and useful, not only for us, but maybe for other people as well. So just really affirming that is helpful, and it takes the edge off uncomfortable charges. So I would really get in the habit of, when you feel uncomfortable, this is valid, this is useful. And it's assisting me somehow. We don't always need to know how, but this idea starts to ease the resistance to feeling it. And that causes a lot of the problem, because there's a surge going through the body and we try and resist it. And often with the mind. So we want to get really observing of what the mind does when we get uncomfortable. So we can just start to experience the mental stories, the mental chatter, and just start to observe it rather than completely become it. What are my thoughts? What are my feelings inside my body? And we're now, even just doing that, we're taking some distance. We're not completely immersed. They're the stories I'm running. That's the feeling I'm having. We're not blended with our charge or with our reactiveness. We're starting to take a little bit of space. And then we just want to place our attention on it, breathe into it, be with it. And that's just generally uncomfortable. It's not pleasant. If we've got an old charge moving through our body, it's just not what we want to do, but it's very, very helpful So we just observe, we breathe, and we try not to believe any of the stories that we're telling about it. And we just give ourselves permission to be with it, not so that we can everyone hear me okay? Okay. So sorry, so you're moving, Sheila. So I thought you couldn't hear me. So so we don't want to have expectations of solving it. We think, okay, I'm going to be with it so that it can resolve, so that it can digest, so that it can know. We're just going to be with it just because we're going to be with it. And if we try and lose our expectation of an outcome that we want it to dissolve, we want it to get rid of, we're coming at it with these expectations. So we want to just have this sense of being present with it, the sense of being, and it's really like the mother with the child, just allowing, just the child will be having its tantrum or its cry, and it will resolve at a natural stage, and we just allow it to be. We allow it to be, we just soothe it, maybe with a hand on it, maybe with just our breath, maybe even just offering it some energy if it feels like comforting, whatever it is that we need to do to soothe. But we try not to have this sense of when will it go, and we notice that one, and we notice those stories, and we just let it be, and we just trust that presence knows how to resolve energy, knows how energy will move through, knows how it will release. And at that point we might receive an insight. If it does start to move through, we may receive some sort of insight from being with it. We may not, but we just want the opportunity of staying. And actually he uses a metaphor this week that is it's just quite handy, I think, to think about what happens when we start to connect our breath, and we start to deepen into half an hour of connected breath a day, is that we start to become a lot more present in our body. We start to become a lot more present in our lives, and we'll start to move old energies. So we'll start to feel more. It might be in our dreams, it might be in our lives, but we're moving quite a lot of energy. So when we start to do that 30 minutes breath work a day, we're going to become more familiar with the nuances of what's going on inside our system. So if you go to you rent a house, maybe the first few days, oh wow, it's beautiful, and then you start to notice the loo's not quite flushing, and the drain's a bit blocked in the kitchen, and this light's a bit faulty. You start to notice after a while a few things about the house, and the longer that you stay, the more that you notice the things that, and you're just getting more familiar. They were there day one when you walked in, but you're just getting more familiar because you're staying at that house. And it's the same with the consciously connected breath. As you stay with your body, as you stay with the affirmation, I'm here now in this, and you do that for 30 minutes a day, you're drawing yourself deeper into this here and now experience. You're going to start to notice more. Things are going to start to be surfacing. So whether you're aware of them in your life and you make the connections back, you're probably feeling more, you might be more intuitive, you might be feeling a bit more emotional, you might be just feeling more reactive, it might be whatever it is for you, or maybe a pain in the body, but you're going to be feeling more from doing that connected breath. So, and some of that might be some people that do the presence process feel a bit worse at some point. Oh, I felt better a few weeks ago, because it's the same thing as being in the house. You're starting to notice things. They were always there, but now you're going, oh, so just stay with it, and just stay with what is coming up, and do make a connection to the presence process, because it's handy to know that, you know, I had really strong dreams last night, and I just thought, you know, I think something, old memories that I hadn't had for a long time, and I think it's the connection back to the conscious breath. It's just bringing things up in the sleep, and it's handy. We're all going to have our own versions of that, whether it's in our interactions or things that are happening in our lives, our feelings, but just be aware you're in a process, and if you're staying connected to that breath, things are moving, and we just want to watch it, we just want to experience it, and we just want to know that all of it is completely valid. It's all welcome. So we just allow these old, unconscious, deep parts of our body system to just reveal what it wants to reveal, and it will bring it to us in circumstances, maybe in life, it will bring us. And it's a great opportunity now doing this process is to look at, where am I in my life, you know, frustrated, resentful, where am I getting, you know, feelings that are difficult, fearful, angry, whatever it is. Just start to look at your life and start to remember that there's messengers. Start to remember that we've got old imprints from the past that are being sent by presence, and starting to welcome in the opportunity this week just to feel it fully. Can I just be with it and feel it fully? Sometimes it feels like a lot. And he talks about, you know, this running to others, and, you know, it can be helpful to see people to help us to have the bravery to feel. But maybe a healer or helper, a therapist, a friend, family member, they're not going to be able to do the feeling for us. And if they give us a little bit more relief and trust in feeling our feelings, that's good. But no one is going to be able to integrate on our behalf. So we can remember that our job is just to kind of learn, how do we hold it? How can we hold it all, contain it all, feel it all? And if we're moving towards people that help us with that, that's good. How can we just give ourselves the courage to hold it, to feel it, to soothe it? So yeah, let me see if there's anything else. We just hold it without condition. It's a loving response. And, you know, a lot of our usual responses can come from the mind. The mind wants to do something happened, then there's a feeling, and the mind wants to do something with it. And he doesn't talk very much about the mind in the presence process. I think it's quite interesting compared to someone like Eckhart Tolle, who spends books talking about the mind. He just sort of doesn't really speak much about it and just keeps bringing us back to the body. If you find that your mind's very, very active, really just try and find that present witness and just give yourself permission to deepen into the body. That's really where we're going to find the answer. So and it's just really, it's not so much an answer, we're just going to find the root. So yeah, I think that is all I'm going to share. It's not a huge chapter this week, and so I'll give more time for you guys to all share about where you are and how you are and where you're getting on. Yeah, I think that's it for me. Just staying connected to the breath, staying connected to the reading material, and staying connected to the messengers that are coming, the discomfort that's coming, the things that are difficult. Just stay connected to that and how you're responding using the presence process of eye perception. Am I able to hold the feeling before reacting? Am I able to just, yeah, sit with it without an expectation? Just see if you're practicing any of that. Would be great to hear. Or if you're falling off the wagon and getting into blame and complain, and all of it's welcome. So I look forward to hearing how you are. I'm going to press stop.